Oman's maritime golden age, naval expansion, and overseas empire, 18th–19th centuries. During the 18th and 19th centuries, the Sultanate of Oman experienced a remarkable period of maritime expansion that placed it among the great naval powers of the Indian Ocean. Far from being a remote desert kingdom, Oman built a seaborne empire with vast commercial and political connections, particularly across East Africa and the Indian subcontinent. This era marked the height of Omani influence beyond the Arabian Peninsula, and left a legacy that is still visible today in parts of Africa. The foundations of naval power. Oman's rise as a naval power began in the 17th century, following the successful expulsion of the Portuguese from Muscat in 1650, led by local leaders such as Imam Sultan bin Sultan. This victory was more than just political. It was symbolic of Oman's growing capacity to assert itself in a region increasingly dominated by European colonial powers. In the centuries that followed, Oman heavily invested in its navy and in securing control of trade routes. Muscat became the capital of an emerging maritime empire, not only asserting dominance over inland territories but also projecting power far across the Indian Ocean. Zanzibar and the African Dominion. The crown jewel of Oman's overseas expansion was the island of Zanzibar, off the coast of present-day Tanzania. Initial Omani presence on the island began in the late 17th century and was solidified during the 18th century, eventually turning Zanzibar into a central hub for Omani administration and commerce. Zanzibar was rich in spices, especially cloves, and was strategically located at the crossroads of trade between Africa, Arabia, India, and even China. Under Omani rule, the island thrived as a cosmopolitan trade center, dealing in ivory, gold, slaves, and spices. During the reign of Sultan Said bin Sultan in the 19th century, Zanzibar even became the capital of the Omani Empire, as the Sultan relocated his court there, effectively ruling Oman's empire from Africa. Connections with India and the Gulf. At the height of its power, Oman maintained diplomatic and commercial relations with Indian states such as the Maratha Empire and with British colonial ports. Muscat emerged as a major trading hub, and the Omani Sultan signed treaties and exchanged embassies with European powers including Britain and the Netherlands. Oman also maintained influence over strategic parts of the Persian Gulf and the Strait of Hormuz, controlling ports and fortresses vital for regional maritime trade. Decline and division of the empire. After Sultan Said bin Sultan's death in 1856, the empire began to fragment. The most decisive event was the division of the empire between his two sons, brokered by the British. Majid bin Said took control of Zanzibar. Thuwaini bin Said remained ruler of mainland Oman. This split marked the end of Oman's unified maritime empire. Moreover, increasing British and international pressure to end the East African slave trade, which was integral to Omani commerce, further diminished its global standing. Legacy of the Maritime Empire. Despite the empire's decline, Oman left a lasting impact on regions like Zanzibar, where Omani influence can still be seen in architecture, religion, and language. The Swahili language bears numerous Arabic loanwords, and many families of Omani descent still live along the East African coast. Today, Oman commemorates this era as a proud chapter in its national history. Museums, monuments, and even naval traditions reflect a continued reverence for the country's maritime heritage. Oman's maritime golden age stands as a rare example of an Arab power projecting influence far beyond its borders, not through conquest alone, but through trade, diplomacy, and naval strength. Its legacy sails on across the Indian Ocean and lives on in the intertwined histories of Arabia and East Africa.